What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Real Talk Fire. We have a special treat today. Someone that I interviewed 7 months ago is back. One of the best NFTs out there, in my opinion. We have Shane, the founder of Collectorz Club. Today, he's going to talk about the updates, what's been happening, what's going to happen, all the big collabs they got going on. And we're going to let Shane talk about, Collector Club to you guys, explain to all you people out there who's never heard of it before. So Shane, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, so we have our Gen 1 coming out August 4th. So I'll kind of rewind and kind of give you guys a summary of everything that we've done up until this point, what our collection is, what the inception of our company is and all of that. So we are a sports cards and collectibles company ourselves, Cards Away Sports. And we have brought kind of our venture into the Web3 space via Collectorz Club. So Collectorz Club is essentially the collection for Cards Away Sports. Which is cool, though. We actually did start our own LLC, which is allowing us a lot more flexibility to do Web3 ventures and whatnot, and just know that everything that we do is under Cards Away Sports, but also under Collectorz Club. So essentially, the people who got in on our Gen 1 mint, we're kind of the founders of Collectorz Club LLC, which is a really cool way of looking at it. And what this does, this NFT collection gives you exclusive discounts and benefits to Cards Away Sports. If you hold 3 or more, you get upwards to $50 gift card a month, which we've seen, our price being only 0.44 SOL. A lot of people have essentially made their money back just off of their first 2 months of gift cards. So really what we want to do is just bring utility and bring people in and create a community that allows everybody to benefit what they truly enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? This is a community where just holding these things, this isn't just some ordinary random utility. These people are breaking with us on a daily basis. And for those that don't know what breaking is, it's a live stream of opening sports cards, and people get certain cards, whether it be based off of team or division or player or whatever it might be. So this is a business that we've created back in 2002 that has grown to be a fairly big company as the sports cards industry has kind of boomed, and alongside of the NFT venture. So we're just kind of continuing to push the needle forward on bringing this traditional collecting space into the digital space, right? And I think that it's fairly new for a lot of traditional collectors, I could say, to jump into this Web3 space. But it's been incredible to really see how many of our holders from Gen 0, that was their first mint ever. We onboarded them to NFTs completely. And now these people are out, in huge collections. We've had people get into D-Gods, we've had people get into Solana Money Boys, and a lot of these projects that are, you could say blue chip projects, just from joining Collectorz Club and getting that knowledge, right? So these people who are traditionally people who are very shrewd investors and collectors, so they know what they're looking for, and they're doing quite well in the Solana ecosystem already, even though, things are kind of down across the board. But man, this has been everything that we've wanted and more. To be honest, from the last time we spoke with you, our mint price was 0.044. Right now, we're sitting at a 5.5 SOL floor. So we're up over 10x, which really, we don't talk about floor price just because, like I said, our community is here for what they actually enjoy doing. They're not here to you're not on pins and needles, oh my God, what's the floor price? Why is the floor going down? You know what I'm saying? It's there's never been any talk about floor price, except for obviously people being excited, holy cow, we're up to 5.5, right. So that part's been great. But I mean, otherwise it's just been focusing on building and providing utility, and these people enjoying the utility and legitimately creating kind of a family atmosphere within our Discord, where people can stop by, say, hey, I just pulled this card, would you guys get this graded? Or hey, I'm looking to buy this product, would you guys recommend this or this? And people get instant answers, and it's really this place where you can feel comfortable learning and growing. And that's kind of what we wanted to create from the start, and bridge the gap between physical and digital collectibles. And honestly, it's been incredible to see even people who were just into NFTs previously now who are whoa, I collected Pokemon when I was little, and I didn't understand that they would retain value. And it's kind of light bulbs go off, and it's really cool to see how synonymous, both sides of collecting are. But, now that we've done our Gen 0 mint, we're progressing into Gen 1 and trying to create more utility and more, take that next step forward. And how can we benefit people by holding an NFT collection? And I would love to go into some of, some of the stuff that we're doing with Gen 1. And I'd also love to, kind of recap what we have done with Gen 0 to kind of what got us to this point.
Question about that. Do you have any data or analytics on, I'm sure you've given away a ton of value in the last 7 months. Like, do you have an idea of how many things you've given away in terms of value, or even just a number of like, we've given away
Oh
like
God.
200 cards, or, how
Oh
much
yeah.
have you given
So
to people? Yeah.
so daily giveaways, right? We're up past thousands of dollars in value that we've given to our community. There is an exact number. I don't have that off the top of my head, but I mean it is past $3,000 in total value just from our daily giveaways in itself over the past 7 months. We do anything, we do a lot of PSA slab giveaways. We do a lot of pack giveaways. We do a lot of gift card giveaways and stuff like that. And this is every single day. So, just holding on to this NFT at any given day, it could be your lucky day and you could legitimately make your investment back, So like, that's the cool thing about it is, you're taking your digital asset and you're able to get physical assets essentially, So the cool thing about Collectorz Club, in my opinion, is, it's kind of an instant diversification of your investment, right? Like, you buy this NFT, right? You have this NFT, and that NFT now gives you opportunity to add more value to your, to how do I put it? Add more value to what you own. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to get this, and let's say you win a PSA 10 rookie card, right? And that gets sent to your house, and now you're like, okay, this is worth $50. Okay. All right. Now I have my digital NFT that, whether that's going up or fluctuating in value, you are now holding other physical assets that what will also be fluctuating in value. And you kind of get to track your investment overall as one. And it's not just this one NFT that you're holding on. You actually are, okay, now I have this one NFT. I got 3 packs and I pulled this autograph out of it, and that's worth $25. So people are continuously adding value to their bag, essentially. So that's the cool thing that we're trying to provide, is it really never stops from an investment standpoint. And obviously giving knowledge and providing that is one side of it, but truly collecting and investing is like the main benefit to it.
Right. Yeah, no, I had friends win multiple giveaways on your Discord. So
amazing.
They're adding value. And the question, as the builder on your side, it's been 7 months now. And one of the things that I believe NFTs give value to is business owners like yourself. Have you been able to like pull out data and looking at the NFT holders to see if they correlate with your business in one way or another, or in a deeper way, meaning like, hey, this person is a true Collectorz Club fan because they've been every day, in the giveaways, or they've been purchasing. Like, give us an insight into the back end of that.
Totally. This has been like that. You've hit it on the head just with the question is, and that was, that when we talk about bridging something, right? Like, I think a lot of people think it's like a one-way thing, right? Like bridging people into the Solana ecosystem. That was like the goal, but like that bridge goes right back the other way, right? And kind of funnels right back into our business, is onboarding these people who are into NFTs. I didn't know about Cards Away before. Absolutely. We've had a lot of new customers, a lot of people, and not only that, new customers with retention rates, you know what I'm saying, that are coming back, and repeat customers. And people who are just probably lifelong collectors now, and or there's people who had never really broke with us and they were aware of us, and they kind of used this opportunity to get the discounts and whatnot, as in, they use that opportunity to get in and try it out. And then they try it out and they see our host Sonny and they're like, oh, this guy's hilarious. We enjoy like spending time with them. I'm in here with the other Collectorz Club community members, and it's just kind of like an experience for everybody. So absolutely, I don't have exact data on like, we've pulled over like, 25 people, 25 new customers or whatever, but I'd say it's somewhere like around there out of our like, we have 120 something unique holders. And I think like, we probably, about 20 of those people are new people that have given our website a shot and, have become customers of ours, and off of a small 444 supply collection, that's like 5% of the people. So like, that's pretty good for those people to become customers of it. So absolutely, I've seen a lot of that, and I expect to see, much more of that in the future as we continue to create platforms that are kind of that bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. Like right now, I don't know if this was going to be one of your questions, but one of the pieces of utility that we've created is our marketplace, the Collectorz Club marketplace. That in itself allows our holders to sell their cards on this marketplace for more than 50% at this point of what the eBay fees are. So We're trying to
Nice.
create everything, this ecosystem inside of Collectorz where everybody can benefit off of one another. They know that they can buy from their fellow collectors on this marketplace for less fees and make more. And with all these platforms that we're creating, the DAO gets a percentage of it. So the Collectorz DAO is actually accruing revenue off of all of the platforms that we're making. So every time there's a sale on the Collectorz marketplace, 2% of that will go to the DAO, right? So doing these types of things allow us to not need to rely on mint proceeds, royalties. It essentially allows us to kind of operate autonomously with our platforms and like focus on driving revenue rather than, pushing and pumping, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why we don't really talk about floor price, because it's like, we want to take our time as much as we understand the urgency and how much the proliferation of NFTs and collecting is going. We understand also that, building something sustainable is the main objective, so that's kind of like where we're at.
Yeah, no, you touched on definitely. You are a real business. So, floor price and secondary markets is not as important to you as it is for other people who they're not going to survive. So, and it's so super early. It's only been 7 months, but it's felt like 10 years. And you touched on something. You said DAO Treasury, and I took a sneak peek. How's the experience been with that? Meaning community aspect, and also yourself as the decision maker. I wouldn't say decision maker, but one of the what was the word I'm looking for? You kind of help guide where the treasury is going, right? For the community. Yeah, how's that been, your experience?
Totally. Well, it's been great in the sense that we really haven't done much with our DAO treasury, to be completely honest with you. It's just been accruing this whole time. That's been built off of our royalties. It's been built off of our platform. So everything that's in our DAO as of right now is untouched. The only money that we've really deployed as a community has been our Collectorz Safe, which that was our fund that we originally went out and purchased high-end cards with, which our Gen Zero holders fractionally own. So after this interview, I'll send you some of those cards so you can, display them on screen. But we purchased amazing, high-end John Morant autographed rookie cards, Joe Burrow, all the top athletes. We've purchased some sealed wax boxes of WWE Prism that's gone up in price substantially. So, as a community, that part has been really fun. And we actually still have $900 left. After I get off this call with you, we're going to wrap up our last little voting on what the last cards they want to buy on the safe are before we roll into our Gen 1. So that part has been incredible, just because it's really cool to see a community come together and see how they would spend money together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really interesting thing to think. It's like, oh, you guys got $5,000. What do you get? Right. And like, there's people who are like, we need to get this, but it's been a really seamless process using our community voting process just to analyze really as a mass what we want. And then if we have a pretty close vote, like for example, right now we had to revote because originally we wanted a Michael Jordan graded card, right? And that was something the community voted on. Well, I rehosted that vote and I was like, hey guys, is this something we still want the Michael Jordan, or do you guys want to get a younger, more prospect guy that might have more like initial, value to go up, or, more, we might get a better return on our investment? And it was like an overwhelming vote to get a younger prospect because they understand that the investment value and the early return on their investment versus maybe a three-year hold on the MJ card. They might only need to hold a Julio Rodriguez for 3 months and he, wins the home run derby and continues his season he's having. So it's like, those are the types of things that, like, from my side of things and controlling the fund, and that's how I see the fund moving forward. It's really the community, and obviously us being smart in how we set up these votes to make sure that everything's a win-win. So the community doesn't have to have that pressure, like doing the analytics behind whether it's sustainable or not. If we continue to provide sustainable options that they get to choose from, it's a win-win, because really the voice is all with the community. And like, that's one thing that we haven't done enough of, I would say, but that's one thing where with Gen 1 and opening up our community to bringing in more members and onboarding more members, I do see that DAO fund start to come into play, whether they want to use those funds to have bigger and better giveaways, or whether they want to use those funds to have their own community breaks, just things that they get to do that are going to further enhance the value. But, those funds are still just accruing at the moment. We haven't dug into them very much at all. And that's something that we're super excited in the future about, for sure.
Yeah, that's something that I'm not an expert on, but I, for one, who's not an expert, would love to see, community owned or DAO breaks like if you pull something amazing, that would just be amazing for
Right.
everyone. So,
Dude, literally
I'm not an
somebody
expert.
won a
Yeah.
somebody won a free giveaway, and they got I want to say it was a pack of Bowman baseball or something. It was
Mhm.
something recent, and they pulled a Wander Franco redemption autograph, like special, like short print. I think it was like red ink or something like that. And that card at the time when he pulled it was worth $4,000.
Yeah.
So you think about this person who I don't think they were like, a diamond holder or anything. They didn't own more than, five or whatever. But so their investment, just getting that just kind of shows the opportunity and what's cool about it. And like, if you want to add like the degen side of it, the great thing about collecting is it always has that element of surprise, right? Like when you get a pack of cards, or if you join a giveaway, or if we do a random PSA card, like you really don't know what you're getting. So it does create this element of excitement. And it's like every single day, these people get to have this excitement of, oh, am I going to win this giveaway? Or, you know what I'm saying? And then with Gen 1, we're actually going to be incorporating more that's going to kind of give them the control as to how they dictate what collectibles they get. So I can kind of jump into that more if you want to talk more about Gen 1.
Yeah, in a second, because this DAO thing is very interesting, because to rope me in, I mean, I know sports. I just came back from Las Vegas for an NBA Top Shot event. And if there was a DAO break every week, and even if I had like a smallest fraction of it, it would be so exciting just to tune in and say, like, look, I'm part of that break. If we pull a $4 million LeBron triple jersey,
right.
The thing is like, well, that'd be so exciting. Yeah.
Right. That's the opportunity that we want to provide. You're right. And right now we do monthly breaks for our holders. So 30 people get picked monthly to join the break. So not everybody who's in the DAO is going to get into every single break, right? But if we do something, like you raise a good point, where the DAO funds are going towards the break or product or cards or whatever, it's only fair that everybody gets fractional ownership of that. So if they do decide to do that with the funds moving forward, I do see that being the future, kind of, whether it be them kind of taking a risk and wanting wax that they want to rip open and see what's inside, or if they want to just be a little bit more careful with their investments and they want to buy, individual slab cards of a certain player that they think has the potential to grow, right? So absolutely. And that choice I want to put in the hands of the holders, and that it will be a big part of Gen 1 as we set royalties for our Gen 1 with a bigger supply and lower entry point. I really start to see that DAO fund really be able to grow more so than it did with Gen 0, and the fact that we were such a small collection and we had such dedicated original supporters that, man, there wasn't much volume because the floor went up so fast and people held everything because they understood that really the name of the game was to like accrue to get those benefits, right? So that model, not to say we did anything wrong, I think we did it completely the right way, but just resulted in a fairly low amount of trading happening, because that floor did increase so fast. It went from 0.4 the first week up to 1 SOL, and then it was up to 3-4 SOL before you knew it. As soon as we were announcing our multi-holder benefits, everyone was like, oh, I need 5, I need 10, so which has created the most supportive and strong community, I would say, on the Solana ecosystem, just by doing that. Because I'm telling you, these people really are like, whether it was Collectorz Club or somewhere else with cards or just spending their time doing what they love, they were going to find this anyway, right? It just happened to be that we created something for them to find their home with. And like now from here, like it's such a strong foundation to build on from here, for sure.
That's awesome. With your strong community being in sports specifically, and we've had more major sports coming on the space very slowly. As I would deem you as the expert, actually, how have you seen adoption or the talk of NFTs in terms of digital collecting versus physical? Because we know that physical definitely has value, and there's so like the Curry jersey, championship jersey sold for I think like 200,000, or is it 2 million? I have no idea, some insane amount. So how have you seen that uptake? Are people taking onto that, or there's like, what, we're just gonna stick with the tried and true?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think right now, like the crypto market in general being down it's like kind of a bit of a turnoff. I mean, even like Top Shot and stuff itself, like the market had a correction, right? Like, and I think people are still trying to understand what that means. But like, I think more people realize, like, because it's new, I think people are using that as an excuse, right? Like, that's why the market's down. But if you look at like the card market over since we've been in it since 2002, like I can remember literally sitting and ripping cases of LeBron rookie cards. And at the time, nobody was like, well, not nobody. Some people were thinking like, let's sit on this forever. You know what I'm saying? But like his rookie cards weren't selling for what they're selling for today, for example. You know what I'm saying? And the market on each player and is going to fluctuate always, right? So the more that people realize that these market cycles are happening and this isn't just like, oh, NFTs are dying. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like easy for people to say after the first bear market since the bull market ran originally with NFTs. So I think the more that people understand that this is here for the long run, they're going to see the collectible value in it. But right now, I think people are very much so in it for the immediate benefits, right? Whether it be flipping or whether it be like, hey, I'm going to yield this coin that's going to give me access to this, or I get access to this platform, or I get discounts at this restaurant, or whatever. Whatever it might be, right? Like people are looking for that right now more so than they're looking for that collecting side of things. But you know, that's a goal of ours, right? Is to make this be something where people, when they're holding things in their wallet, they're holding it because they see it as a collectible, not because they want to transact with it, right? Or get utility from it or whatever it is. And I think we saw a decent model with Vivi for a little while, you know, in what they were doing with the digital collectibles. And I think that proved that there's interest here if done the right way. And I think that continuing to provide that bridge by having physical collectibles involved with the digital collectibles is key in the first part. So I can kind of give you a little bit of like what we plan to do with our Collectorz brand once we do start creating actual collectibles with, let's say, exclusive. I'll kind of give you a rundown of a project that didn't come to fruition, but that I wanted to create and just how that would look. Well, I had some connections with some of the guys who got drafted this year in the NBA, and I mean, you know, that's something that I provide to the community, is just my athlete relations, just through my past playing and, you know, my brother being professional and just the connections that I've had, you know, making through them. But so we had a few guys in the NBA that we were thinking about doing a collection with, which would come with an NFT, but would be backed by, you know, in real life, actual custom cards that we've created and that they've autographed, that are, you know, one of ones, slabbed, you know, really cool things that are like really, really big collectible items from a physical standpoint, right? But you needed that digital version in order to have access, right? So I think like that's step one for me, is unlocking and understanding the correlation, right? Before it's like, you know, before it's just this digital thing, and like, how can you see that as a collectible value other than like from a rarity standpoint? So it's really interesting. And like, that's how I want to take baby steps, is continuing to like have that, like that tangible, that thing you could have sitting on your desk that reminds you that, oh, that physical collectible actually gave me what I'm holding in my hand. Do you know what I'm saying? And that utility that I'm able to be provided. So I'd say we're, you know, to answer your question, we're super early in the collectibles, digital collectible space. And I don't think people quite understand it in that sense right now. I think more right now, people want utility, people want just value, you know what I'm saying? And like, I think that that's the easiest way for people to understand NFTs. So I'm glad that we are there, because it's super easy to be made clear. Whereas if we were just in this digital collectible space, you know, if we were just getting JPEGs just because from a collectible standpoint, like I really don't think that the mainstream media and everybody would be able to adopt it and understand it. But behind the utility standpoint, that's where mainstream is going to adopt, right? So once they adopt, then I think the collectible thing will become a little bit more, you know, have a bit of a bigger appetite, you know.
Understood. So I'm gonna pose an interesting question for you. Would the Collectors Club DAO, or has anyone already suggested, what do we think about purchasing a, you know, Top Shop debut of Steph Curry, or, you know, a Panini NFT? Has anyone ever raised that?
Yeah, actually. So it's actually really interesting, because our community voted against it. We had the opportunity to, right? Like that was a part of our Collectorz safe. They had the opportunity to invest in NFTs, where it was a category that they voted on. And, you know, those funds could have been technically all 5,000 could have went towards the best Top Shot we could have got, right? If that's what they wanted to do. But instead they wanted the physical, and I think that that kind of shows, right? Like right now, this group that we have, but I would say that it is predominantly physical collectors. But they voted toward getting a lot of physical collectibles. There were people who voted. I'm not going to say that nobody voted. There were people who wanted NFTs, who were coming from the NFT side of things, who were like, "Yo, maybe we should look into Top Shot." That definitely was a topic of discussion. I just think, like I said, I really think that when you look at both ends of the spectrum, we're kind of on the extreme end of both. Like the physical collecting, like those people are kind of against NFTs, still don't really see the value. And then when you have like your degens who are like literally like just trying to flip like whatever, like it's not even really about the utility for them, right? But then you have like this people in the middle who are like really trying to find value and utility in everything that they're doing, and it's coming from more of that like investment side of things, less like, you know, fun. You know, like let's be real, the degen stuff is fun, flipping is fun, or it's not fun, whatever, however you want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's up and down, up and down. But whereas if you're going to look for long-term value, we know that it's less up and down. We know that it's something where, hey, I see value in the future for this, or I see that this team has a developer that can build, or I see that this founder has a great idea that could become huge, right? There's people who are looking for that. I just don't think the masses are understanding that right now. And like I said, once I think that utility has that mass adoption, then I think that collectible side of thing will vamp up, because then I think it will be in this digital world. Like people don't realize that these metaverses and everything that might not be getting the play that it will get in the next 5 to 10 years. Like, you know, we really will be, you know, watching these games with our buddies in the metaverse, you know what I'm saying? Or trading cards in the metaverse, you know, or whatever that might be. That digital adoption it's going to take all these steps, right? So right now we're still a bit heavy on the physical collecting side.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, and they've been doing very well in correlation to the NBA Top Shot, which I can speak from personal experience, which has trended down because of their correlation of the cryptocurrency, unfortunately.
Right.
More on a personal take on outside of the DAO, there's autographed sports collectibles with DraftKings. There's Topps came out with Wax Blockchain, and then of course we know NBA Top Shot. Have you been a big advocator of, hey, you know, I want to test these waters, or more so when the dust settles a little bit?
Yeah, I've tested just about everything. I've gotten some Topps NFTs. I've gotten some Panini NFTs. I have some Top Shots. I loved Top Shot at the start. Like I wasn't the best investor, I wouldn't say, but I was just like ripping every pack I could type thing. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what sparked all of this, to be honest with you, is I think that, I think that seeing that these bigger companies like Panini, right? Like Panini just owns trading cards right now completely. Like you can look at somebody like Leaf, who's like kind of like this third party trying to do their thing, like, and they're doing somewhat successful, but it's just hard for them to compete with Panini, just as like they're just so huge, right? So it was really interesting to see how many people really weren't participating in Panini's NFTs, right? And like that dawned on me. It's like there's an avenue here, right? That is tapped, but it's not untapped. It's tapped a little bit, but nobody's claimed the throne, right, for digital collectibles in sports right now. I'd say Top Shot has it right now, right? Like Top Shot is been adopted mainstream for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I see like Panini and Topps, it's not like people are, you know, there's not like, it's insane to get one of those limited drops. Like if you really want it, you can get it, you know, and like, it's not the market's not too flooded. So what that tells me is it's like, first of all, the interest probably isn't there overall fully, right? But if we can get in early enough as the interest grows and be a household name in digital collectibles when the time is right, then I think that's kind of like, so you seeing all these bigger companies do it and it not necessarily blow up right away kind of gave me faith that, hey, we can insert ourselves here, and down the line, you know, it's not going to be our first collection, it's not going to be our second collection that we drop under our Collectorz brand, but it might be the 20th, you know, in 2025 or 2027, that, you know, our history and our background will give people that faith in understanding the collectible value of what our brand is providing, similar to like, you know, what I think we're going to see Fanatics do once they take over trading cards in 2025. And we're positioned, right, as Panini is phasing out and Fanatics is coming in, and as things are changing, we just want to have a place, right? And like, there's market share to be taken. Right now, we have a very minuscule amount of market share, but we understand that that's the game, right? Like there's a certain pie and we just want our sliver and that sliver to hopefully grow into a bigger piece, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll definitely talk about how you guys are, give us the specifics of the Gen 1. I know we've been talking, dancing around it for a while, but that seems to be a great next move for you guys. And like you said, you've done an amazing job onboarding people into the space and making the right moves at the right times, I would say. So yeah, tell us about Gen 1.
Okay, so Gen 1 is, essentially what it is we're offering there's been a lot of collectors that have come into our community and, they've been interested in whether it be our fire sales. And a fire sale, for example, is we give our holders access to sell their cards in like a live auction setting to the community. And the public can participate, but only the holders can sell and make money off of their collections. But we've had people come in and they're like, hey, like, how do I host my own fire sale? We're like, well, you have to own an NFT, a collector's NFT. And then they go and they see it's 4 or 5 sold. And they're like, it's a lot of money for me to invest just to like have these benefits, right? So we've noticed that first and foremost, like there's demand for people who want to join Collector's Club that maybe aren't willing to pay what our floor price is. So first and foremost, it's a lower entry point for new collectors who would like to enjoy the benefits of what we have going on at Collector's Club. Number 2, it's going to unlock some utility that we have in the works that is going to allow our holders to stake and earn our club token, which will allow them to use to actually get physical and digital collectibles of their choice, right? So we're going to create what's called our collector zone. And the way I see collector zone is an arcade, essentially. You know what I'm saying? You get your tickets, you earn your tickets, you earn them, and then you have a prize zone where you can redeem these for whatever you choose, right? So we're going to have PSA graded cards up there. We're going to have packs. We're going to have boxes. We're going to have actual NFTs, Solana NFTs. We're going to have gift cards that you can purchase to break on our website. Everything that you could really want from a collecting standpoint. We really actually want to push some in real life events. Like, we were talking like, how cool would it be to get tickets to your local Division I college game and go with your buddy just for holding one of our NFTs, So all of those things are going to be what we're providing. And we're kind of putting the control in the holder's hands, where instead of relying on winning a giveaway, you can be like, okay, I'm going to save up for 3 months and get some of these top tier prizes. Or, hey, I'm going to cash out every week and get a pack of cards and see what I hit. You know what I'm saying? So we're putting the control in the holder's hand to really determine how long they want to hold off and and save up their, you could say, tokens to, redeem them for actual, quality physical assets. And that kind of goes back to the model that I want to create. It's like a hold to collect model, right? Like you get to hold this NFT and you get to collect more, or you could be a hold to invest model where you're like holding these and you're like expanding your bag of investments because you're able to get a Squirtle PSA 9 first edition, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that, right? Like different things like that are going to offer where I think people can truly see value, like direct correlated value, where maybe people before hadn't been seeing that value with, oh, I only can win a giveaway, or, oh, I'm only getting a monthly gift card. Like, so if there's any doubts about the value, our Gen 1 is kind of like putting a nail in that. Like, this is direct value, like legitimately this NFT equals physical assets at your doorstep. You know what I mean? So that's like the biggest thing that we're going to be doing with it. But there's also other features similar to our collectors marketplace that are going to continue to allow our holders to make money off of their collections. I think like that's the biggest thing that I want to continue to push forward, is like giving our audience that we have through our company, like we have over 5,000 customers in our database that we can send stuff out to, and then we want to put that in the hands of what our collectors are trying to sell, right? Like, so if it's a marketplace advertisement, I'll give you an example of something that we do. We do these things called flash sales with our marketplace, where we'll do 20% off. People can go in their dashboard and pick their cards that they want to put into this sale. And we send that sale out 25% off out to all of our customers. So our holders' cards are being featured in front of our customers. So we're kind of like sharing that customer base with So, and there's more platforms that we see being built. Like another example is razzing, the concept of razzing and using high-end cards, right? Like it's kind of like a raffle. It's essentially what it is. Let's say I have a LeBron James rookie autograph worth let's say $10,000, and I run a RAS that's 50 spots at, you know, $500 a spot, right? Well, there's allows people to have a chance to get that card at a lower price, and it allows that person to easily move that card at a high price point. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just putting it out on a marketplace trying to sell it for $10,000, it might sit out there for, you know, 3 months. But if we run a RAS with it, you know, we can move it quickly. The DAO makes a portion of the money and everybody wins. And then the, you know, the collector themselves that sold the card gets their money. And then the person who wins gets their card. So just creating platforms like that. So we have 2 or 3 more platforms in the works that are going to be continuing to funnel into our Collectorz DAO. So I'm not going to give too much information about what those platforms are, but one thing I do want to touch on, that this will kind of be like a little exclusive alpha that nobody has really heard, is we started what's called NFT Breaks. And NFT Breaks is the first NFT live stream NFT break platform out there right now. And we did 15 breaks with that, and we've kind of slowed down, and we're rebranding to come out with this platform in a collaboration with another platform to really make this an amazing experience, all Web3 tools integrated. And so I can just kind of give you an example of how this works is you buy into this NFT break, we print off all these NFTs that are in this into cards, right? So that each one actually has a card. We put it into a box. Our breaker will open that box and he randomizes all the names and all the numbers. There's a number on each in the back of each card. So as he pulls the card up, he'll flip it back and he'll see, let's say it's number 4. Well, wallet XYZ has number 4. They get that NFT, right? And then we send out those NFTs within, you know, a few hours of finishing that break. So it allows you to essentially, you know, I don't want to say, it's more of like the raffle side of things, right? Like, but everybody gets something. You never go home empty handed. Everybody gets an NFT. And that's the great part about it, is it's like nobody really loses. And we've had people who have gotten a Ghost Kid DAO, for example, at when it was at point 2. It was at point 2, and we threw it in there as a filler. But that's why it's great with NFTs. Whereas, you know, if you do this with cards, it's a little bit harder, right? Because you might get a bad card and you know that player is never going to play again, and it's kind of their potential's out. But when you get an NFT, you know, you get into that community, you contribute to that community, and who knows what that NFT could be for you, right? So we've had a few ones that were low valued NFTs and they ended up popping off, and people were in that break, and that wasn't even the main prize. They just got that and they held on to it, and you know, it was worth value to them. So those are platforms that, you know, we're going to continue to, you know, like I said, bridge this gap. Like, what is there out there that is in the sports collecting that's not an NFTs? Like, we're going to try to attack that and see if that business model works in that space, you know? So that's something that I think we also have the advantage of, is it's like this experience in the physical collecting space is going to allow us to like take these ideas and just try them out, test them out here, and then, you know, spitball, and then whatever sticks, like we can go hard with that. And we've located the NFT breaks as something that there was interest, and we know that if we would have kept doing it the way we were doing it, maybe it would have died off. So we wanted to, like, we reined it back, and we're going to be coming out with a full-on NFT breaks platform in the future as well. So that's not necessarily a part of Gen 1, but there will be benefits for Gen 0 and Gen 1 holders within these types of platforms. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is it's like every platform we're building, if you're a holder of Collectorz Club, you get a benefit to all these platforms.
Yo, that's very interesting. Yeah, you're definitely moving the Solana ecosystem. I would say what NBA Top Shop did for, you know, the gateway into, you know, NFT collectors, you guys are doing it, you know, for Magic Eden and Solana. So it's super exciting to see that.
Right. Like, well, imagine, you know, kind of imagine that Top Shot experience, right? With just like maybe Solana NFTs, or even if you were on Ethereum, or, you know, some of these other Poly or whatever, you know, imagine that you have this experience where you pay and then you get surprised with what you get. And it's that experience of, you know, I don't think people can really put a finger on that experience, right? Of opening a pack or, you know, that element of surprise. Like, and I think that in itself makes the collecting experience so much better.
Yeah, no, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of amazing things coming up end of 2022 and even 2023. You guys are really, in my opinion, setting your sight for the long term, which I've always knew, but, you know, this just kind of enforces it, because now other people are seeing the results, right? And now I'm just so excited to talk to you in real life, by the way. I'm going to make that a vote. In real life event, we're going to have a Collectorz Club in real life event. I'm going to go
Dude,
there.
we need to.
Yeah.
We need to. Like, what? It's funny because we're going to, like, originally we wanted to like have some sort of event at the National, which is coming up here in at the end of July, which is like the National Sports Cards Collecting Convention. And we're going to be meeting, I'm going to be meeting up with a bunch of the guys that I have never had a chance to, you know, see or meet in real life. And, you know, we've just been chopping it up dating back to January now. So, or they've been customers of ours since, who knows, maybe some of them have been customers of ours since, you know, 2010, you know what I mean? So it's really cool that that's the next step, right? Is it's like, I think people still don't understand that value of like building relationships and like building a community that like, it is lifelong, you know. It's like being a part of like a chess club or something that you might be able to go to in person, but like it's digital now, right? And that's where we're heading with the future, is like these people that you resonate, like these are going to be lifelong friends and people they talk to forever, because they're always going to be asking advice about you know, cards, or they're going to pull a card that they know somebody collects it and they can't wait to like show this person, you know what I'm saying? Like that dynamic. And that's kind of what I talked to the first time around, is we've created this environment that like, and this is what I wanted to create, and like I can't believe it worked so well, is this environment where you know, it's like that team environment that or like coworker environment that you get, that like it's just not as accessible as an adult, right? Like to feel like you're working together with people to like accomplish something, a greater good. And like, you know, it's really something that I feel like is that a lot of us are seeking, and we don't have it, you know. So Collectorz Club is that for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? It really is a place to hang out, a place to just like express yourself, a place to like ask questions and not ever feel stupid. Like it is that more than anything. But the great thing about it is, on top of that, there is, you know, it's backed by legitimacy in the sense where there is value on top of just like this awesome community. So it's really just like I said, like the added benefit of it.
Yeah, I look forward to our conversation in the next 7 months, because the dynamic from the new Gen 1 is going to be even crazier. I'm excited for both of us. We're still here 7 months in the NFT landscape, unscathed.
Right.
Well, I want to say unscathed, you know, but like hopeful and optimistic for the future, which I totally am overall for the space and for you guys. So
oh yes, 100%. And that's what I think, like, you know, I think this was the best thing for the people, you know, for the people that joined us in January, and they're seeing this bear market. It's going to be the best thing for everybody, because everybody's going to remember like this moment, right? And they're going to be like, do you remember? Like everybody needs to experience that. And if we were just running bull market this whole time and nobody was having a second to think about, is this a smart investment? Like we needed people to have this moment, like where everything wasn't just flying off, you know. Like you need to sit down and think about, why do I want to invest in this, and what values it's going to bring to you. And then once people can figure that out, like I said, then I think the collecting and all that fun stuff will happen. But first, we need people thinking smart. We need people thinking long term. We need people thinking that this is going to be the future, not just how can I make $10 today by flipping. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so much bigger than that. So our goal is to just attract the people who really see that, you know. But yeah, I'm super excited. Even it would be cool if we could figure something out, like some sort of collab with an in real life event. Like I honestly really would love to, you know, just continue to leverage what you have going with this platform and what we have going, because I know that you have a community that's always looking for true utility. And I know that I watch a lot of your videos, and everything that you are always invested in and working on always is like the most interesting utility. So first and foremost, appreciate you bringing us on and putting us on your channel, because like I said, I know you don't just do any, you know, reviews of any collection. So appreciate that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, no, I definitely want to keep myself honest, and then the people watching, because there's a lot of people that, to your point, right, they're in here and they're not utilizing it. They just wanted something quick, right? And that's not what NFTs are about, in both our opinions. So we want to make sure we want to make sure we highlight those. So that's definitely Collectorz Club having a strong track record, and now us talking 7 months later is it's great. So yeah, we'll definitely do some more things together. I'm looking forward to Gen 1. What's the launch date? Is that announced yet?
Yeah, it's August 4th right now.
Oh, it's coming up. Wow.
It's coming up, right? And like I don't see us changing that date unless like something really, because like I think the biggest thing is we want to sell out. We want to just, you know, obviously that's the goal, right? But we're not nothing's contingent on us selling out. Like, we're going to move forward regardless. Like, we
Right.
are backed by a legitimate company who has plans, everything in place. For example, we've already purchased all the machinery and equipment needed to start creating NFT physical slabs where you can get your NFT in a graded slab. So like, we've already fully invested in everything that we need to move forward. So like, if we sell out, great. Like, that allows us to do even more and really kick into gear. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're backed 100% by our company. So we'll never really fall short unless our company fails, which as of right now, everything's going very well, continuing to grow. Even in the midst of this market correction, we've been finding different ways to be creative and invest more into our repack business. And, you know, at no point do we see ourselves slowing down. So we're just going to push forward. Mint date August 4th. And we hope just that everybody can start to see the value and really what we're trying to bring. And I think that they will.
Yeah, I'll definitely put all the details down below, mint date, site, cost, everything like that, so that the viewers can definitely get their hands on a Gen 1. Excited about those NFT slabs too, because I think I submitted one of those.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that we haven't previewed much of, but as we get everything together and produced a few, I want to start showing people sneak peeks. But we're making these custom cards handmade and they're looking really cool. So like, that's another side of things that I think will kind of help us with the mainstream adoption of people who maybe they don't collect cards, but they're like, hey, I want to get my NFT graded. That's awesome. I'll put that on my desk. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, just
like I said, always trying to find ways to whatever's happening in sports cards. If we want to bring it to NFTs, we really see it being synonymous. So yeah, man, super excited.
Cool. Yeah, I put a screenshot if allowed of that. I thought it was super cool right when I saw it. So
yeah. Amazing, dude. Yeah. Also, if you want to run a giveaway, feel free to run a giveaway to the subscribers or anybody viewing as well. Happy to do that.
Yeah, we'll talk after this, and I'll make an announcement. I'll record it afterwards of what it may be. Yeah.
Perfect. Cool, yeah, it could just maybe like a free mint or something like that, or whatever you want it to be.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Perfect.
All right.
Well,
sweet.
Well, Shit, thank you so much for jumping on and giving us your time. We know you're a busy man, and we will definitely talk again. Hopefully not in 7 months, maybe a lot sooner than that.
Yeah, let's talk when we have our Collectorz brand stuff coming up, because I'd love to. I know you're into the digital collectible stuff, so I would love, once we're prepared and we have a collection that's coming out under our brand with an athlete, I would love to come on and talk to your viewers about that.
Would love to have you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.